When I slid into the exceptional and line-cutting driver's seat of Doug DeMuro's former Ferrari 360 Modena, I thought I had climbed up the automotive social ladder enough to see rooftops. Nope. I only witnessed the terrace. The ladder goes much higher.
Audi R8 is a supercar. Whoa. I'm getting blue balls, let me just go. Actually, yeah, just give me the keys. Come on.
This is a 2012 Audi R8 V10. On that windy early spring day in New Jersey, I stared at this two-tone hammer built to do one thing: embarrass anything wearing a Ferrari badge, including those awful red laptops. That's nature, I thought as I looked at the real carbon fiber. Not fake stick-on sunglass rack garbage. No, the real stuff holding the side mirrors together. Real carbon fiber. Yes, it made up the side air scoops too. Ferrari is still the king of the jungle as far as all the cheap nightly news car segments and clickbait Facebook outrage stories are concerned. You won't believe who crashed their Ferrari! Won't get as many shares as you won't believe who crashed their Audi. I looked over the R8 superior windshield wipers. I didn't know if they were dealer or discount rack, but the R8's cold, low stare assured me that they, the windshield wipers, were better than me. 10 minutes earlier, I was exiting your Honda Fit, whose most thoughtful accoutrement is a leather shift knob atop an indifferent steel spike. The R8 has a smooth aluminum shift knob, sliding perfectly into the just wide enough shift gate. Have you ever been to dinner with a shining upper crust human? You know, someone who has, by grasp or genealogy, ascended to a higher caste. I've been to a few dinners like these, and during those dinners I spend time thinking about the architecture of the noble sitting across from me. I look at their watch and I wonder if it's a rich watch, or something strategically bought at Boscov's for the purpose of slumming it with me. In the same way, I examine the R8's frunk carpet. It was tight and wrinkle-free and snare drum firm like a fresh office carpet in a go-getter insurance whatever in King of Prussia. The owner of this R8 was equally as mysterious as this car's bizarrely off-centered mid-mounted 5.2-liter double-cam V10 nutcracker of an engine. My host was keen to tell me about the R8's quirky options, like this.
So there's a little Audi mini fridge that you can use for camping or whatever, and it plugs right in here.
Ooh.
So you have a nice little 12 volt and nice illumination. And it takes up about 3/4 of this space. So I think that was probably part of the design goal of having the depth and the width of this to accommodate, even that, piece of Audi sort of,
a mini fridge.
Travel luggage. Yeah. It's like a tiny little fridge. It usually goes in Golfs. I'm sorry, not Golfs. A3s or other like smaller Audis.
Mm-hmm.
I've never seen it in the VW. I mean, it's a VW part, but I've never actually seen it in a VW, dealer or anything like that. I've seen it in an Audi dealer, mostly in Europe. But yeah, you can get this little mini fridge just to hold some booze and whatever else or other items.
Right. Where?
And it just pops right in there.
Huh.
Yeah. It's really neat.
Now they're suggesting that you take this thing tailgating.
Pretty much.
Okay, the doors on an R8, you open them, right? And you get one stop here, and then you get, I'm going to get in the way so I don't hit it, then you get another stop, tonk, right there, and then there's another stop. This door opens even more, but will open almost all the way out. Yep. And knock anything that's next to you. Clutch all the way in. Steering wheel lock? No. Okay. There's a secret. Is there?
Yep. No, just turn.
Turn it harder?
Yeah.
Wow. You gotta really.
Yeah.
You gotta turn that thing. Yeah. Okay. So I got 1, 4, 5, and we won't even get into 6 probably. And reverse is down and back.
But you can hear my distracted voice, because an 8,400 RPM exclamation point on the speedometer was staring at me, and I knew the enthusiastic owner was expecting me to touch it. Or at least the fearsome 8,000 mark, where the power peaks and that hell beast of an engine will be shoving 542 horsepower at me. I had never driven anything this fast or this expensive, and damn that money. It twists views and inflates meaning. A lesser journalist would focus on price, but I'm not going to slop around and muck like the rest of those complimentary copy pigs. So, Audi gave the R8 a facelift in 2014, and they did it to be dicks. Maybe it's Germany's incalculable feud with Italian automakers that makes them force options to standards. Maybe it's a secret stroking admiration for warmer climates and the cavalier pricing that comes with Mediterranean trade winds. Whatever the reality, this is what Audi did. For the 2012 facelift, the grille is different and it costs more money. The LED headlights are standard and costs more money, and the magnetic ride is standard for the V10 model, so Audi can charge more money, and the molding around the dash is different, and that costs more money. The engine cover side vent louvers now floss your ass, and that costs more money. The V10 models each come with a Google Voice number that connects you to your own personal Audi whipping boy doing a hopeless Christoph Waltz impression, which is good enough in this culture-starved American wasteland to delight your everyday Malibu catamaran owner who bought an R8 because it was the thing to do. The owner handed me the keys and I pulled on the ergonomic door handle. Ignore the money. Ignore the money. I was thinking that over and over in my head. And even now, as I write this, I'm struggling to ignore the money. Just see it as a car, I thought, but the Audi R8 is better than just a car. The accelerator pedal is hinged at the bottom like a Porsche. The dead pedal is finely spaced so your left foot slides gracefully on and off the clutch. Exterior door handles follow the sightlines of the car's line-drawn image. It's a shame that this car hangs its hat in New Jersey, a state that seems fit to punish automobiles by making them wear front license plates, which ruin aerodynamics, fuel economy, and dignity. The R8 is aware of its Bastilian imprisonment and fights back with rules of its own. Only special Audi oil can grace the oil pan. And if Audi could have their way, they wouldn't even let you touch the battery. But they have to let you touch it because rules. What's it like? The Audi V10.
Can I go into this? Ooh! Yeah, okay, braking. Where's my brake? There it is. That was the clutch I was hitting before. They're very close to each other. Why is this not braking?
Is cartoonishly fast.
Oh, when I drive it, I am so better than everybody. Oh, my penis has an accountant.
My ball sack is incorporated.
I'm better off than all of you.
And then we encountered a Porsche.
Hello, guy. Is he?
And you can open up the taps a little bit.
Oh, there he goes. He's going. Oh, he is going. I'm not gonna chase him. Do you think he saw me?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, he's gone. If we were in a situation where it would have been socially and legally acceptable, could we keep up with that guy?
No.
No.
You would destroy him.
Oh, really?
Yeah. This is 3.2 seconds to 60. That's a 3.9 second car. Not even insanely.
But here I sit back in Pennsylvania, back at my home base, and I'm having a very difficult time to ignore the money. I need to make a call. What prevented, and this goes along with the R8, I suppose if you take an R8 and put it next to a Aventador, the R8 would just look like a Jetta compared to that thing. But when you get behind a wheel of that, or if you've been behind the wheel of an R8, how do you see it as a car to be examined and to be analyzed by its own merits and not the social caste in which it sits. This is a rich person's car by any measure. How do you see it as just a car?
Okay, so yes and no, because I drove the Audi R8 a while ago, and it was an R8 V10 with a manual transmission.
Same one I got.
And I loved that car. For me, I didn't see it as the rich man's car. I saw that as the subtle version of the Lamborghini, not the Aventador, but the Gallardo, or now it would be the Huracan. But I see the R8 as the Lamborghini you can drive every day and not get noticed.
It is true that when I drove DeMuro's, as a 2004 Ferrari 360 Modena, that's 10 years older than this R8. It got way more notice, way more eyeballs, because big red, white, and the Ferrari badge on the front. Audi, okay, Audi dentist car, but at the same time, when your hands brushed along interior dash panels which fit perfectly, there was no rattle or bump or squeak as pieces moved against each other, and the gated shifter, the gated manual shifter on the Audi was better as did a out Ferrari. The clicks were better, as if they had taken, okay, this is what a Ferrari can do, here's how we're going to improve on it and keep the sensation of it. But knowing that this is a six-figure car, maybe it's just inexperience on my part. When you drove that R8, what about it allowed you to think in a middle of the road, honest man way toward the car?
Well, I liked the car so much that I drove it around town like a maniac, and for some reason I just felt like I wasn't getting noticed. And that was the benefit of the car. And that's weird to say for an Audi R8, but in this town it's probably not. I see. I'll drive down Main Street in Santa Monica or Venice, and no lie, you'll just drive down Main Street and you're going to see at least two 911s just on the side of them. Somebody's having, you just see them everywhere. They don't really stand out as much. And that's a great car. I mean, there's probably few better true sports cars you can drive every day than something like the Porsche 911. And I think the Audi R8 is one of its best competitors. And for me, I think you can drive that car all the time. I would have no hesitation with driving an Audi R8, other than if you remove the fact what I paid for it. Let's say somebody called and said, we're going to give you an Audi R8 for a year as a long-term loaner. You're just going to drive it around. I was like, great. I'm responsible for the insurance and the gas. Okay, then I'm fine with that. If I'm going to go downtown, or I'm going to go to some really not so nice places in LA, I always question about what car I'm going to bring. Like I'll bring out like my crappy 2001 Volkswagen Jetta if I'm going to go in a parking garage downtown, because I don't want to have to worry about the car. I think with something like the R8, you could go downtown, go to one of the nice restaurants there, and that's a cool car to take. I wouldn't take the Lamborghini downtown.
So what I get from that is this. You can see the Audi R8 as a regular car, but only within the context of equally status-achieving cars such as itself. That's all. It's all contrast.
Whoa, dude, wait up. I was in the bathroom. You gotta give me a heads up on this. Damn. Don't be springing it on me like that. Okay, Audi R8. Now, if Tales of Symphonia taught me anything, it's that there are two sides to every universe. And so it is with the universe of supercar enthusiasts. You have the people who are into the hard stuff, the nose candy of the 918 Spiders, the Koenigsegg's and McLarens of the world, the types of cars that are hard to come back from. If the housing bubble bursts again, these guys will end up in rehab before they go back to a Pontiac Sunfire. And then there's the other half of the spectrum. The guys who are into supercars, but are just coming by the means to acquire them. It's not necessarily a new money issue like it is with BMW owners. The kind of sudden acquisition of wealth that screams recklessness, youth, and fiscal irresponsibility. No, the Audi owner has gotten the R8 because they love supercars and they want to dip their toe into that water, because they've always wanted to but never dreamed they could. It's this latter type of individual that's more interesting to me, because it's the type of person who will fiercely defend his or her choice in vehicle. It's not unlike being a fan of a sports team, where I and me are replaced by we and us. You're a part of a community now, one that has to field questions from outsiders about how much you paid, and what kind of horsepower that thing makes, and why have 10 cylinders if you're just going to get your license revoked for using them. Those people can never understand, because they've never put their foot to the floor in anything more gaudy than a Malibu. They've never felt the irresponsible amount of grip of an R8 or the opulent restraint of the V10. This supercar has more bounce in its step than a closeted bodybuilder on his way to the Honey Bee Inn, but they'll never know that exuberance. They'll just stand off to the side in righteous judgment, the indignation and bitterness of a prostate that's too big and a bank account that's too small. Supercar enthusiasm is born of the same us versus them mentality as sports fanaticism, and it follows the same electrophysiological impulses. In the right hemisphere of your brain, where all the facial recognition software of the mind is stored, car enthusiasts rent out space that belongs to memories of what their mother-in-law looks like, and fills it with the minute differences between different modifications on a C5. These guys can listen and immediately tell when someone doof-warriored the Capristo exhaust to their R8. These are people who maintain their cars with an almost puritanical zeal. They endure the capricious, covetous eyes of strangers, and put up with the intolerance of a girlfriend who can't understand why he's giving the car another coat of turtle wax. So he placates her by going to that Indian restaurant she's been dying to visit, and then he accompanies her to that art exhibit she's always wanted to go to, the one with the anuses. And he puts up with it because he knows it means a lot to her, and because maybe this means she'll stop passing judgment about how badly he wants to stick it in his own car. But all the while, his innards are aflame from having lost his chicken tandoori virginity. His Indian food hymen has been pierced by the kotsi kari, his bowels rumbling with the low thrum of insurmountable spices, and in that moment, he decides to surrender his dignity and fire one off in the public bathroom by the service elevator, because it's either that or soil the dignity of his R8, and Lord knows that ain't happening. Sure, the sounds coming out of that bathroom leave nearby strangers with a sort of academic curiosity about the workings of his colon, and sure, the smell of it is more embarrassing than a professor assigning his own novel as part of the course syllabus, but it's all in maintaining the seminal purity of the Audi. In short, it's all about appearances, and the tiresome business of their upkeep. I guess what I'm saying is that this is a wonderful car, more for what it represents than for anything else. Sure, it's expensive and pretty damn far from a regular car, but more often than not, the people who drive them are regular people. They love cars as much as the guy driving a WRX. They find the joy in putting pedal to the floor, eyes aglow with worship as significant as the discovery of God. What more could you want from a supercar at the entry level? What more could you want at any level without paying an extra arm and a leg? But it's worth trying to understand, because life is the sum total of the things we experience, the things we learn, the things we consume, and even the things we watch. Have a great week, guys. Audi R8 is one more car I'd like to be in. V10 engine purrs like the healthy farts of a child.